guys, I hope you're all doing well. I am not doing badly myself. So this is Na here, or Na Komle. We are still carrying on with our Ghana language lessons. Minga nyefe, mimba nyefe, umanye, nokobeni nisene nkasene. Oncha wagani kasemono. If you remember, I've done some history about the Ghana people. I've done the initial migration from the Kushite Empire. I've done some on how the Ghana language was influenced by the Portuguese language. I have also done a video on how our fashion was influenced by the Europeans in general. Now, this time round, I am going to concentrate on a discussion that is going on. So we are going to look at history and then merge it with current conversations. The current conversations is about the priests of the Ghana people. Ghana people are normally led by priests. We call them Wulomo or Wulome for plural. Remember, the Ghana people were led by Ayikushi from the Kushite Empire through the Benin Empire and then settled at the coasts of Ghana. This migration is one of many migrations that were made. The Ghana Dangme people migrated in different groups, and because of this, you will find that there are about 6 independent towns in Accra. So we have the Gamashi, the Osu people, the La people, Teshi people, Nungwa people, and then the Tema people. And these people came in through different routes. So we have the 6 towns of the Ghana people, and then also we have the Dangbe people, all migrated into the southern parts of Ghana. They are the Ada, the Bong people, Krobo people, Ningo people, Osudoku people, Prampram people, and then the Shai people. They speak the Dangme language. The Ghana language evolved out of the Dangme language. So it's the Ghana Dangme tribe. It's one people and one language has evolved out of the other. There are priests or Wulome in every town. I am focusing on the chief priests, and this is the current conversation that is going on right now. Who should be the chief priest? There is no huge argument about it. There is a chief priest already, but because another individual is claiming that he should be the chief priest, that is why I have read about it and tried to gain some understanding. So I'm going to share with you. So the current chief priest of the Ghana people is Nuumo Akwa Mensah. He is a part of the Ghana Traditional Council, and this council is a central governance of the Ghana people. There is a lot of debate about the central governance of the Ghana people currently, but we will leave that one out of this video right now and just focus on the chief priest, the conversation going on about who should be the chief priest of the Ghana people. It's not as if Nuumo Akwa Mensah is not the rightful person to be the chief priest. He is the chief priest and he's acting in the capacity of the chief priest. However, the conversation is that another individual is claiming that he should be the chief priest, and hence why I'm making this video to try and explain what I have read, which will help or which might help other people to understand this issue very well. The chief priest is taken from the royal family, and the royal family is from the Ayikushi family, which is the Tungma way, because this family formed the first kingdom of Accra. The kingdom of Accra was from 1483 to 1680. So the person claiming that he should be the rightful chief priest of the Ga people is in the person of Nuumo Lakote Aduawushi. Now, where does Nuumo Lakote Aduawushi come in the history of the Ga people? So if you read on the history of the Gold Coast and Asante based on traditions and historical facts comprising a period of more than 300 centuries from about 1500 to 1860. This book was written by Carl Christian Reindorf. He gives the information that Nuumo Lakote Aduawushi's family are Guan people. Who are the Guan people? The Guan people are the Aborigines who the Ga Dangme people came to meet after they migrated to the coastal parts of Ghana. However, the Guan people never had a central government before the Ga Dangme people settled. And also, it is interesting to note that the Guan people actually were Gonjas. They were Gonja people who migrated from the Songhai Empire. So this I find really, really interesting. Gonja people are now in the northern parts of Ghana. The Ga Dangme people, upon arrival, lived peacefully with the Aborigines, which is the Guan people, because the Ga Dangme people naturally like to live peacefully with other tribes. And this is part of our culture. We call it Able Kuma. Able Kuma, which means people from other tribes should come and live peacefully with us so that we can learn from them and then they can also learn from us. So we lived peacefully with the Guan people. Now, there was a time where the kingdom of Accra fell. There was a destruction of the kingdom of Accra. The Accra kingdom came to a destruction at the time of Dode Akabi, who was a queen mother, and further on or further ahead in time, her son called King Okankwe also reigned within the period of when Dode Akabi reigned, and her son King Okankwe reigned between 1500 to 1660. There was a destruction of the kingdom of Accra. At the time of King Okankwe, what brought about the destruction was a disagreement about the slave trade. There was a disagreement between the king of Accra, who was King Okankwe, and the Akwamu tribe of Ghana. This misunderstanding was about the slave trade. There was slave trade in Africa during the trans-Saharan trade, and that was the time of the barter system. And because the Ghana people are living on the coast, they've got salt, they've got fish, and the Akwamus were a warring people. So they always had slaves, and they will exchange slaves with the Ghana people for salt and fish. Now, the Ga people will normally live with the slaves as if they were part of them. Now, during the transatlantic slave trade, when the Europeans arrived, the Akwamu people wanted to trade slaves directly with the Europeans. Now, the Ga people initially never wanted the Europeans to settle on the coast in Accra. Remember in the video I did about the trans-Saharan trade, the Europeans initially settled in Cape Coast, but later on they moved to Accra, and the Ga people did not want them to build their forts there. In fact, the first one that was built was burnt down by the people. However, later on, King Okankwe's father, who was king at the time, allowed the Europeans to build their fort. King Okankwe decided that Instead of the Akwamus trading directly with the Europeans, the Ga people will be middlemen. This is where the disagreements came in, and there was war between the Ga people and the Akwamu people. This brought about the destruction of the Ga kingdom. A lot of the decisions that King Okankwe took were against the advice that he was given by his council. After the destruction of the Ga kingdom, the Ga leadership fled to Aneho in Togo. Then the Akwamus took over Accra. They did not necessarily take over the leadership, but they were in charge of business, which was mainly to do with the slave trade with the Europeans, because that is what they wanted to do. The Akwamus stayed in Accra and took over the Christianborg Castle. They stayed there for approximately 60 years. I'm giving an approximation here. And then after that 60 years, the Achims also took over. The Achim people are also another tribe in Ghana. The Achims took over for also approximately 12 years to 16 years. I'm giving an approximation, and I'm trying to rush through this video because I don't have a lot of memory on my phone to give all the details. But if you take your time to do some research, you will find the specific dates and times. The Asantes also came to take over business in Accra. And then at a point, the Europeans wanted to end the slave trade. The remaining Ga people, with the help of the British, the Fanti people, and other tribes, fought the Achims, the Akwamus, and the Asantes away out of Accra. During this period, when the Achims and the Akwamus got out of Accra, Randolph stated in his book, page 104 of Carl Randolph's book, he noted there that on the departure of the Achim army from Accra and its suburbs in pursuit of the Akwamus, so this tells me that the Achims were also fighting the Akwamus from Accra. The residuary element of the Ga lineal body assumed the power of exercising the functions of the monarchy subjected to the dictation of the Guans, who form the fetish order. So now, after everybody started leaving Accra because there has been wars, the Guan people, who are the Aborigines, were now leading the people that were remaining in Accra. Now, at this time, Accra has become a mixture of many tribes. So you will realize that even in recent times, the Ga people are made up of many tribes in Ghana, and they are all Gans now. This is where the Guans started taking over, the Guans who are the Aborigines. Now we get to the main subject of this video, or of this lesson. Randolph mentions this earlier on in his book on page 10. So he says that the other settlers were the Lays, as we find mentioned the family of Lakote Aduawushi, which means Kote of Lay, who is known to have been on the coast with his people before the Accras removed thither. The brother of Lakote, with the name Lateboy, was acknowledged by the Dutch government by an instrument drawn, which was afterwards carved on a silver-handed cane of the priest of Nai as a king of Accra in 1734. So within this period of 1734, that was when the brother of Lakote, Lateboy, was given the title of the king of Accra in 1734. By this time, the kingdom of Accra was destroyed A lot of wars had gone on. The Akwamus, the Achims, the Asantes have had their business activity going on in Accra. And then after that, a brother of Lakote Aduawishi was given the title of the King of Accra. And this family is from the Guan tribe, who are the Aborigines, before the Ga Dangbe people migrated into Accra. We have to note here that the leadership that fled to Aneho in Togo after the destruction of the Kingdom of Accra came back to Accra later on. After everything has settled down in Accra, they came back again. And then there was a start of another central leadership of the Ga people. This is where the conflict is between who should be the overall chief priest of the Ga people. In my opinion, I think since the first ever Kingdom of Accra was started by King Ayikwishi with its capital as Ayewaso, even though it fell, the leadership did come back. So I feel that it is only right that this leadership is maintained. The central leadership should still be within the original royal family of the Ga people. We still are all Ga people. We still live together with the Guans. But I feel with where we are in the world at the moment, we shouldn't really have a conflict of leadership within the Ga tribe. I think we should find a way to move forward. Even though a brother of Lakote Aduawishi was given the priest of the Nile, which is the Wulomo, in the year 1734, I feel this was like a backup position, and that the original position should still go back to the people who started the Kingdom of Accra. This is what I think. Let me know your opinion in the comments, and then we can all learn together. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. Inyemi megami, inyeni macho enefe shishinyegami, eja keshin ke infe na kanye, eba hani wo video infonirie se ajeke. Nye na keshin, eneponi nke gamba komiye, ese ajeke omo, no he wo ke nke gahu fata here, ese ba ajeke chon. Shin inyo, akeshin nyenu, sani shishin, boni ingbla miye, nyenu shishin, ni nyehu, nyeba chon nye dwemo yehi. Keashi wabakase ni ekuwe. Bye bye. So I was saying that I could not translate all this into the Ga language, because if I do that, the video will be too long. It's already a long video, but I am sure that the Ga people will understand what I have explained. Until the next video, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this as we continue to learn more, and also especially the history of Africa during the trans-Saharan trade, as well as the transatlantic trade, and also the post-transatlantic trade. Until the next video, it's bye.